Disturbing developments, folks. And help me out, fam, and tell me what's going through your minds right now. Are you shocked, outraged, or just numb to the chaos that's in Minnesota? And what do you make of Tim Walz, the governor who plays the nice guy while whispers of betrayal swirl around him, just like stolen valor did at the start of his announced VP ticket next to Kamala after Dems executed a coup on crooked Joe Biden? And Vance Belter, the so-called Christian hitman, I mean, do you buy his wild claims or see him as a pawn in a bigger game? Then there's Melissa Hortman, gunned down after flipping votes against Democrats, cozying up to Republicans like it was all part of some grand plan. I don't know. But if you ask me, her shift was just a distraction, a convenient alibi to mask a darker truth. Because what's unfolding now is a bombshell that could rival an episode from the House of Cards series. Allegations that Tim Walz, Minnesota's own Frank Underwood, orchestrated a string of calculated hits to claw his way up the political ladder. And buckle up, folks, because this is about to get ugly. And if this is news to you, here's a quick recap. It was a cold Minnesota morning. The state woke to a grim reality. 2 Democratic state lawmakers and their spouses were shot in their homes. Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark were dead in Brooklyn Park, while Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were fighting for their lives in Champlin. The attacks were brutal, targeted, and reeked of political motives. Then came the bombshell. The suspect, Vance Luther Belter, claimed Governor Tim Walz, Minnesota's sanctimonious Democrat, hired him to kill Senator Amy Klobuchar to steal her Senate seat. Now, this wasn't just a crime. It was a scandal that could bury Tim Walz and the Democrats, and it stinks to high heaven.
Assassin who disguised himself as a cop to shoot down Democrat politicians and their spouses. He killed 2 and seriously injured 2 others. Today, we're finding out he wrote a letter to the FBI claiming he was trained by the U.S. military, quote, off the books, and that Tim Walz asked him to kill Amy Klobuchar so he could take her Senate seat. Belter's facing state and federal murder charges.
Belter, a 57-year-old from Green Isle, wasn't just some nobody with a thirst for blood. Fake police costumes, an imitation squad car, and an arsenal of guns and face masks and disguises like he thought he was in a Mission Impossible movie or something. Turns out, Tim Walz appointed him in 2019 to the governor's workforce development board, a fact that the governor's team downplayed as routine. Routine, my foot. This guy was a security contractor, a self-styled Christian who ranted against abortion and preached in the Congo. He posed as a cop, wearing a lifelike mask and driving a fake police SUV to hunt his targets, his prey. Police found high-powered rifles, ammo stashes, and a hit list naming Democrats, Ilhan Omar, Tina Smith, Keith Ellison, and even Planned Parenthood sites. Oh, and Tim Walz. But that was all part of the act, if you ask me. His letter to the FBI, a wild screed, claimed Tim Walz trained him as a secret military operative to take out Klobuchar. And true or not, it's a gut punch to old Tampon's fake, tearful press conferences where he clutched his chest like a bad actor whining about tragedy while dodging questions. And watch this. Knowing Tim Walz knew the operation was a disaster, Vance Belter was not eliminated as planned, and people would soon know he also wanted Amy Klobuchar gone. Walz was totally nervous and more uncomfortable than usual. Let's face it, folks. Tim Walz knows he's in trouble.
That's the embodiment of how things are supposed to work. It's not about hatred. It's not about mean tweets. It's not about demeaning someone. It's leading with grace and compassion and vision and compromise and decency. That was taken from us in Minnesota.
The Democrats are scrambling, and they should be. Tim Walz, already a loser after tanking as Kamala Harris's VP pick in the 2024 election, is neck deep in this mess. But can you imagine if surrogate Mark Cuban had accepted the offer and ran alongside old Camel Toe?
There was some green room gossip at MSNBC. You ready for this? You ready? I wouldn't tell you this if it wasn't like pretty good. Like somebody I kind of trust said that they asked you to send in VP vetting papers, and you said no, the list would be too long. Is that true? It is true. Why didn't you consider? I mean, you ended out there campaigning with our advisor.
Well, the second part of that is, my response was, I'm not very good as the number two person. And so the last thing we need is me telling Kamala, the president, that, no, that's a dumb idea, right? And I'm not real good at the shaking hands.
All right. Well, I don't know about that, man. I was talking to Pete Buttigieg a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I want to, give you a time machine. We're going to go back in a DeLorean. Like, what could we do different? So I want to ask you that same question, but also in the context, like, if it was you instead of Tim Walz, who the hell knows? I don't know. It feels maybe different.
I mean, obviously it would have been different. My personality is completely different than Tim's. My experiences,
All right. Let's take a quick detour to dunk on Mark Cuban for a second. The self-proclaimed Shark Tank genius who's swimming in his own hype. This guy's a freaking loser, a fraud, and a professional liar who, if you notice, you've never seen Mark Cuban and Rachel Maddow in the same place at the same time. But as per the usual, crying because he can't handle being number two. Red Wave Press spilled the tea. Kamala Harris's team begged Mark Cuban to send vetting papers for VP, and he turned her down, whining, I'm not very good as number two, as the number two person. Really, Mark? You're a freaking Shark Tank investor, bro. Your job is to be number two to every entrepreneur that you fund. You write checks and play sidekick while they build their empire. What's the freaking deal? Are you just too butthurt to take a back seat to Kamala Harris's train wreck of a campaign? Cuban's out here acting like he's too big to kiss babies or tell Kamala her ideas are dumb. Spoiler alert, they are. But let's be real. This is the same guy who tanked his NBA team's reputation, fumbled crypto deals, and still thinks he's a business god or guru. He's not Donald Trump, and he wishes so badly that he was. He's more like the guy who trips over his own ego and cries about it on MSNBC. But Mad Cow will have to take the day off, ironically, for that interview. And hey, all my entrepreneurs watching out there, please take note. If Cuban's too weak to handle VP vetting because his list of screw-ups is too long, maybe don't trust him with your startup. And I think I would prefer to work with Mr. Wonderful anyway, at least out of all the shark options on the show. But the only thing Mark is good at is faking confidence while the real players lap him. But that's enough of his sorry ass, and let's get back to the main show here, because Cuban is just another distraction, but Tim Walz's scandal is the real fire lighting up Minnesota and Democrats in Congress right now. His party's in shambles, and his allies are terrified they may be next. Lawmakers like Kristen Banner and Ann Rest, who narrowly dodged Belter's rampage, are shaken, realizing Tim Walz's leadership doesn't protect them, and instead it might end up getting them killed. The letter's claims, even if half-baked, paint Tim as a schemer who'd sacrifice his own for power. This is dirty, even for Democrats, and I don't even think someone as dense as Kamala, being as clueless as she is, could pull this off. And we know Biden's a lost cause. He couldn't find his way out of the Oval Office just to go take a freaking piss.
Subcommittee. I've been through all of Africa. I used to be there for a long, long time. Africa. I've been to the origins of where slavery started. And to listen to them talk about it now, how things have changed. We have to remember, our country is founded on the promise of freedom. Freedom for everybody. For everybody.
Man, that poor guy is absolutely baked. But old Tim Walz, his all shucks routine now looks like a flimsy cover for a man desperate to claw his way up, no matter the cost. I mean, he's friends with school shooters, for crying out loud. Then there's the mess around Belter himself. His wife, Lisa, was caught shredding documents and hiding passports. Passports, plural, like they were prepping to bolt the country. Their home was a fortress of ammo with rifles and rounds stacked like a frickin' survivalist's wet dream. And Belter's best friend and roommate, strange, very, David Carlson gave a bizarre interview rambling about Belter's Trump support and Christian values while conveniently leaving out the hitman part. And the manhunt was a circus. Local cops fumbled for 2 days before finding Belter crawling in a Sibley County field like he was freaking playing hide and seek or something. And the FBI? Cash, what the hell, dude? They waved off Belter's manifesto as not worth reading. That's a bald-faced lie. They're hiding something, and it's not hard to guess why. The truth might torch Tim Walz's career, and good. And perhaps maybe the Democrats' last shred of credibility. Maybe. But nothing adds up. Why was Belter, a supposed Trump supporter, taking orders from Tampon Tim? Why was his wife destroying evidence? Why the passports, the ammo, the fake cop getup? It reeks of a setup, a cover-up, or both. Minnesota's Democrats are panicking, and they're right to. Tim Walz and those crocodile tears can't save him from the stench of this scandal. And I read this posted quote from Alex Hormozy this morning, and it says, anything that can be destroyed by the truth should be. He's right. We want the truth and justice to be served. His party, already crushed in 2024, faces a reckoning. And for those Democrats who thought they were safe under his wing, well, the message is clear, folks. Trust Tim Walz if you want, and you might end up in a body bag. This is a disaster for Democrats, and Tim's weak, phony theatrics only make it worse. The truth is out there, and it's uglier than his fake sobs at the podium. I mean, I guess he must have taken pointers from his boy at the DMC. Okay, fam, let's wrap this up with a warm, friendly reminder. Annual enrollment period, or AEP, is right around the corner, but it doesn't have to be a stressful mess. Our friend and subscriber, D, left a sweet comment earlier saying, I really appreciate you and Michelle educating us with all the changes. I'm 62, and it's so confusing. Thank you for your help and for telling us about Chapter. Well, D, you're so very welcome. Michelle and I are thrilled, absolutely so excited and happy to help make things easier for you. Folks, don't let AEP overwhelm you. Pick up the phone and call our friends at Chapter today at 270-467-2426. Let them lighten your stress load and help simplify your life, all at no cost to you. That's right, folks. It's completely free, just like watching our YouTube videos packed with helpful tips to keep you guys ready and prepared. Don't wait until the last minute. Call Chapter now at 270-467-2426, and I bet you'll be glad that you did. Thanks for watching, and so much love and respect to you all. I can't wait to see you all back here again real soon. Please take care and have a wonderful day or night.